Hey beauties, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Winnie. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to put rings in sleeves or clothes, as you have seen in this video. It is very easy to make and it is beginner friendly. So if this is what you would like to learn, definitely keep on watching. Like my videos, share with your family and friends, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out each time I upload a new tutorial. And without too much talking, let's get to the honey of the video. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. So to make this, the first thing I'm going to do is to cut out your sleeve, and it's an A-line kind of sleeve cutting. So that is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to measure our bicep measurement, and then we're going to add 5 inches to that. So that is what will serve as our hairline. So after covering the part that is going to enter the armhole area, we are going to just slant it to the down part, just like that. So this is the part that is going to enter the armhole area. So I'm measuring the length of my sleeve now. I'm going to measure out the length of my sleeve plus the allowance. Alright, so I'm just going to measure out the length of my sleeve plus the allowance, and then when I'm going to cut that out. So after measuring where my armhole is going to enter, I'm just going to slant it all the way like that. So I'm just going to slant it like this, and then I'm going to cut everything out. So once that is done, I am going to also cut my lining. So this is the armhole area that I'm cutting now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my lining. So I'm just making sure that my camera is showing everything that I'm doing, alright, so I don't end up training myself. So I'm just going to pick up my lining right now, and then I am going to cut this exact same thing that I cut on the main fabric. I'm also going to cut it on the lining. Alright, so just placing it on it like so. So I'm going to cut one lining first, then later on I'll cut the second lining. So I'll do that real quick. So just watch what I'm doing, alright? And if you want to do yours too the way exactly now that I'm doing my own, you can also start folding your fabric, and let's do it together, because I am going to walk you through from the start to the finish. I'm not going to leave you or fast forward any area. I want to show you, because as simple as this thing is, it is also very tricky. You might not get it when you get to a point. It might be so confusing, you get. So because my first time of doing it, it was so confusing. So that is why I'm going to walk you through from the beginning till the end. So we are done cutting the lining now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to pick up my I'm going to pick up my lining and reduce the length of the lining. So we added 1 inch to the length, so I'm going to reduce that. But first I am marking out the wrong side of my sleeve, and then I'm also notching the two edges, alright, because there's no power. Assuming there's power, I will have ironed it, because it's the midpoint that we need. So now I'm going to reduce the lining by 1 inch, so which is what I'm marking out right now. So make sure that you don't highball anything, so that your sleeve one will not be shorter than the other. Make sure that you measure everything, and don't do over sabi or too low. So make sure that you measure everything, and then you work on it perfectly. So I'm cutting it out now. So once that is done, I'm going to take one of my sleeve, and then I'm going to place it right side facing right. Like as you can see, the lining is shorter than the fabric, and that is what we want. All right, so I'm going to place the lining on the main fabric just like this, and then I'm going to draw out the midpoint. We've already notched it earlier, so it's going to guide us on how to draw it out. So once you've drawn it out, on the picture in the video that the client gave me, the sleeve is starting just before the elbow, so that is what I'm marking now. I just went up by 1 inch from the elbow area, then I'm marking half inch on both sides all the way down. So you can decide to go up more than the elbow area, but that is what is on the video that the client sent to me, and that's what I'm going to be following, and that is what I'm using for the sake of this tutorial. So if you want yours to go all the way up, you can also do that. It's still the same thing. All right, so now I'm just drawing out my lines, and I'm just drawing it out like this. So I already measured half inch on both sides. So what I'm going to be doing now is that I am going to cut it out. I'll just follow the line that I have cut, that I've drawn rather, and then I'm just going to cut it out. All right, so the reason why I measured half inch on both sides is because my ring is 1 inch all around. If you buy a bigger ring, you are also going to measure what your ring is, and that is what you are going to use to determine this whole part that you are doing. So I just want to quickly show you the ring. This is my ring. It is 1 inch all around. If you measure it here, is 1 inch. If you measure it there, is 1 inch. So it's just going to fit into the hole that I created for it. Assuming we are using a bigger ring now, we are going to also divide that into two, and then we are going to use that to create the hole. So we are placing 5 rings on this cloth. So I just went ahead to place it. This is how it's going to be. All right, by the time we are done, this is how it is meant to be. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut 2 inches of bias strip. You can also use your fabric. You can cut your fabric into a rope and then use it, but for me, I'm going to be using bias. So you are just going to cut 2 inches of bias strip, remove the lining. We are working on the fabric now, and we are placing it on the right side of the fabric. So you are going to take your ring, put it inside like this, and then you are going to make sure that the ring is facing inside and the bias is facing the hole that you created, and then you are going to start stitching it down. So I just took it to the machine right now so that we can do it together on the machine. So I'm just going to place it like this. See, the ring is facing inside and the bias is facing the space that I created. So I'm just eyeballing the space that I want the rings to be. So I'm measuring 2 inches of bias, I'm folding it, and then I'm just going to put it inside my ring like this, and then I'm going to stitch it down. All right, so that is what I'll keep doing till I get to the end of the sleeve, until I exhaust my 5 rings. So see the way I'm doing it. If you don't understand what I'm saying very well, just watch closely what I'm doing so that you can get it. All right, I'm just cutting 2 inches bias, and then I'm putting it into the ring like this, and then I am just sewing it on top of it. All right, so just 2 inches of bias, then I put it inside my ring. I'm folding it, put it inside my ring, and then I'm just sewing it. So I think that is all. I'm done with the 5 rings. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take my lining and then place it on top of each other, right side facing right side. All right, so we are going to start from the down part, from the part where you've already put your ring. Don't go to the other side. The part where you've already put your ring, start from the down part and then stitch it down. All right, use half inch to stitch it down. Make sure that it is, you are noting the um you are noting the inches that you are using to sew, so that everything can be rhymed for you, because this thing can be tricky. You might end up sewing and one end of the sleeve is will be longer than the other end of the sleeve. You get the gist. So make sure that everything is rhyming. So once you are done, make sure that you shift your lining to the part where it's starting from, and then you just start from one side of the curved area, and then you just stitch it just like that. Just make sure that you are stitching it just like that. Start from one side, one end of the curve area, and then you stitch it all the way down. Make sure that the ring is facing the right side of the fabric. All right, so you then stitch it down. So once you are done stitching like that, you are going to move to this side. So this is the other side. Still leave it all. So notch the angles, and then you are going to move to this side, flip it over, move to this side, and then you are going to also stitch it. Make sure that you've pulled it to the top. Make sure that it is rhyming with each other, and then you are going to stitch it all the way down. So it's as simple as that. So you are going to stitch it all the way down. So you are now going to cut off the excess if there's any excess. For me there is excess, so I'm cutting it off now. So now we are moving to the other side of the sleeve, which is the most tricky part. So you are just going to turn it inside out, turn it to the right side just like that, turn it to the right side like that. So you are going to turn it to the right side. So after turning it to the right side, this is what it should look like for you. All right, so make sure that the lining is separate. So this is what it should look like for you. So what you are going to do is to start cutting your 2 inches bias strip, and then you start placing it, face it right side facing right side like this. Put your bias inside the first ring, and then you match it up with the fabric, just right side facing right side like that. All right, and then you start to sew. So this is how you are going to do it. You see that the lining is not there. I've removed the lining, I've put the lining separately. So I'm just going to be cutting out my 2 inches bias, and then I'm going to be placing it inside the ring, and then I'm going to be stitching it down. So if you are careful and you take your time and you watch closely, you are going to get it perfectly, because this thing is just somehow tricky. You get? So it's very simple, but it is somehow tricky. So you are just going to like put your bias. So you'll be putting your bias just like that, and then you'll be stitching it down. So you'll be putting your bias like that, and then you'll be stitching it down. So see how I'm doing it. Make sure that the ring is straight. Don't let it just go down or slant. Make sure that everything is straight and is matching up with the other side. All right, so that is it. So once we are done sewing up to the end like this, the next thing to do is to fix the lining. So this is how it's going to look. So you are going to raise it up like this. Make sure that everything is aligning. So you are going to raise it up like this, and then you are just going to flip it over. See the way I flipped it to the other side, and then you are going to sew the down part with half inch. All right, if you did not see the way I flipped it, you can rewind it and check it properly. So I just flipped it over, and then I sew the down part, and then I'm going to be sewing the sides now. Everything is still right side facing right side, but this time around I'm starting from the top part. So I'm starting from the top part, and then I'm going to stitch it all the way down just like that. So I'm going to stitch it all the way down just like that, and that is it. We are done. So once you are successfully stitched the other side, you are done. So you are just going to turn it to the right side, make sure that every part is coming out, and this is how it's going to look. See how beautiful it looks. See how beautiful it looks already. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to, turn it again to the right side. Make sure that right side is facing right side, and sew the sides. By the time you are sewing this, you are going to understand the next move, how you are going to turn your lining. You are going to understand it. All right, so it is not difficult at all. So after sewing the sides, we are practically done. So we are going to turn it over to the right side, just like that. So we are going to turn it over to the right side, just like that. So that is it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just stitch the sides with 1/2 inch, so that I'm going to connect it to my already made buba. Not really buba, it's a blouse, but you're going to sew the blouse as a box split, or a box gown. What is wrong with me? I'm going to sew the blouse as a box blouse. All right, so that's why I'm going to, and make sure that the armhole area is very free, that it's not choky. Those are some of the complaints that the client had, so we had to rectify that the armhole area is not choky. All right, so once that is done, so I'm just going to turn it to the right side. There was a little mistake here, so I didn't turn it properly. So after turning it to the right side, this is how it is looking. It is very, very beautiful. Trust me, it is very, very beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. Till I see you in the next one. I love you, and okay, bye.